and this is the global forecast for March 2018. We're coming to the end of what I call silly season. The period from really early January through to early March, 9 weeks, has been the longest period of time for many, many, many years where there's been no planets retrograde. And it's what I call silly season. When no planets are retrograde, everything's moving forward. And there's nothing moving backwards, so there's no resistance. And we need resistance because otherwise, what is the point? It's no good if everything's too easy. We don't struggle. And over the period of January and February, with no resistance, it's been a quiet time. There's been a lot of madness in the world, yes, but there's been no common sense, no groundedness, no sort of antidotes. And now finally, certain planets are starting to go retrograde. Jupiter's going to go retrograde on the 9th. Mercury's going to go retrograde on the 23rd. For which I'm absolutely delighted. Saturn will go retrograde next month, as will Pluto. And finally, we're coming into times where people are going to start biting back. And there's going to be a degree of traction, I'm delighted to say. Now, over this month, there's no great aspects that are coming up. Yes, Jupiter's going to semi-square Saturn, but big deal. It's all about the retrogrades and the moons. Pluto's trucking forward in Capricorn, so's Neptune in Pisces. Uranus is getting ready to leave Aries. And by the time we're into the middle of May, we're going to be pining for the quiet of January and February. The full moon today, tomorrow, actually at about 10 to 1 in the morning UK time on the 2nd of March, is pretty difficult. It's opposite Neptune. And for a number of people, it's about the difference between living in the world as being the way you want it to be, as opposed to living in the world the way it actually is. Fantasy stays between the ears. The imagination can be created, but it'd be very easy to sort of just escape and avoid the world at this full moon rather than deal with it. So it's not that easy a full moon. The new moon on the 17th is a lot easier. It's in Pisces, it's not doing anything to any of the other planets significantly. Weak trine to Jupiter, healthy new moon on the 17th in Pisces. And then at the end of the month, there's a full moon in Libra at 10 degrees of Libra, squaring Saturn by about 2 degrees. So it's not a major problem, but it does suggest that certain people, especially those born at the very start of April, July, October, January, are going to find that the end of March is just a little bit, not lonely, but alone. Only for a couple of days, no big deal. Saturn's in Capricorn, and that's nice. I kind of like this Saturn in Capricorn business. I'm pleased it's out of Sagittarius. At least in Capricorn, what you see is what you get with Saturn. And Jupiter's standing still now, and I'll be pleased that it's stopped moving forward because it's overinflated. It's promising more than it can deliver. Once it starts going backwards, we'll get a period of retrospect. Venus will be in Aries most of the month, moves in on the 6th, 7th, and from then on it's in Aries till the very end of the month. No big deal. Venus doesn't like being in Aries much, but it's not a big problem. Mars starts the month in Sagittarius, but on the 17th it moves into Capricorn, and then it conjoins Saturn. Now, when Mars conjuncts Saturn, it's not really going to do this until the very start of April, but in the last week of March it's brewing big time. So the more we get into the end of March, the more I think we're going to see an upturn in angst. There's going to be an added degree of intensity, of pressure, of gravity, and there's going to be a lot of rule breaking, law breaking. There's going to be a rebellion against imposed structure and boundary. Add to this that we've got a Mercury retrograde. The shadow starts on about the 9th of March. Mercury actually goes retrograde on the 23rd and will stay retrograde till mid-April, but we won't clear the shadow till the end of April. But I do anticipate the period between the 9th and the 23rd of March to be a time of growing impatience and frustration for a lot of people as we get into Mercury retrograde shadow and it slows down. It's happening in the first half of Aries. Not really going to impact on the world significantly, apart from the fact that it's going to be squaring Saturn and Mars. So particularly as we get towards, well, the very start of April, first few days of April, it's going to be well fractious. And of course I'll speak to you before with a global video before then. But already, heads up, first few days of April, yeah, it's going to be a bit difficult. Okay, I'll get this across to you. Have a good month, world. Catch you next month. Bye.